you're tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
Hello everyone, good morning. Brandon from Still Point. Just wanted to give you guys an update on everything going on. Give a big hell yeah to Matt Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. The Barry Morgenstein photo shoot. There's Leeroy. Look at him, looking great. Olivia looking stunning as always. Look at there, baby. Rocking the lid. Barry has done photo shoots with kings, presidents, the Pope, rock and roll royalty, Jimi Hendrix. Come on now. It's so awesome that our music is finally catching on after all this time. And you know we're going to always keep on rocking in the free world, baby. Make sure you tune in to the Don't Unfriend Me show every weeknight at 7 p.m. EST. The new stuff is dropping on all platforms very soon. We got it uploaded now, but we're getting on the Spotify playlist. You know how you have to do that. So be on the lookout for that. Go download it. Go support Still Point. And go support the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matt, Leeroy, Olivia, Amy, we love you guys. Ethan, baby, we love you. And we will see you all soon. We're getting everything ready, and it's going to be badass. We'll see you on the stage soon. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now, about the new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
That's almost close enough. It almost matches up. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Mr. Spear and Mr. Jenkins in the house. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Leeroy's name is protected because he is incognito. He is the Batman. Welcome, Leeroy.
I'm Batman. Swear to me. I don't skip leg day. Oh,
how's
Batman.
it going, guys?
My balls, Batman. They're swollen, Batman. Only you can fix the darkness of my balls.
I've got about a year left, maybe a little less, before I get to start using my real name.
Thank God. We're sick of it.
That has me ecstatic. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I just
can't hide it, Batman. Motherfucker, Batman. Can't believe it. I was born in it.
The college humor stuff that they put out.
Oh, it's so good.
So great.
It's so good.
So good.
Love 3 times.
In an order that would shock you.
In an order that would shock you.
Really seals in the flavor.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I was wearing my suit all day. It was hot out that day in Gotham. Really seals in the flavor. Motherfucker, Batman.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matt and Leeroy are in the house. Good to see you. Yes, we've mixed up the lighting a little bit, and the reason why is because we got new cameras and we were playing around with it, and we've been working on it. So doing some new things, trying to get the lighting where it is, but the color is gorgeous right now. Now just a little bit more light right here, but we're doing fine. Leroy and I wear hats, and that's tough to light, and nobody knows how to do that. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Goals up, $300 is what we're looking for. thedumbshow.com/donate. Hop on over there and get yourself a head start on getting that summer gear. Get yourself some coffee, some shirts, some hats. All those fun things are available for your pleasure. Get on over there, pick yourself up something purty. Tell them Matt sent you. Save 10% by using the code DUM10. DUM10. Looks like my logo dropped off. I'm working on it. I think I'm good enough to just like go in stride and do this. We're gonna find out. Yep, I am. So here's the deal. If you don't know, Matt, myself, and Leeroy, that guy over there, we've been doing this for I don't know. How long have we been doing this now? 5 years? You're a little bit, you a little less. Me 5.5-ish. You 4.5-ish. I think you came in here at the tail end of my first year, and been here ever since. So either way, we love to have you. Appreciate you. Please stop on by thedumbshow.com, and you can donate throughout the show. All right, so here's the deal. We've got some guests coming, and I want to do it real quick, and then we'll come back. March 26th, which is Thursday, we have Brian Cook here. Scott Lloyd from Front Royal, he is the RNC chairman who is running for it and lost by 19 votes, as they did not allow hundreds of people. They barred them from coming in and voting. The excuse was it was past fire code. So my thoughts are, well, maybe you should hold it in a venue that could support the amount of people who would show up. He's going to talk about that. Jessica Lynch, POW, 2003 in the Iraq War. She is here. Damani Felder will be here now regularly every Friday, first Friday of the month. He will be joining the Don't Unfriend Me show. So we're really excited. That's a great way to spend a Friday. Damani Felder will be here every single week. And then the older millennial will also be here. He's a Twitter personality. He's got 500,000 followers. He's hilarious. We play his videos all the time. Stop on by and come see him. The first question that we kind of got is, hey, I want to know why Trump signed that guitar. Well, we're going to talk about that video. So we might as well just start there, because that's a a good place to start. Let's do that. We're going to talk about this guitar and why this is important. This is kind of funny if you haven't seen it, because Trump, as always, loves to take a dig at AutoPen Biden, and here it is.
There you go.
It's a great honor. Hold it. Has anyone tested this pen yet?
I think you're the first.
Should we just
Right
give
there.
me a piece of paper just to make sure what level the ink is,
Yes.
right? It's a lot easier to do that way than ruin the guitar.
Exactly.
Okay, not bad.
You see, to me, automatically, he's showing a lot of respect for the guitar, doesn't want to ruin it. And that's the way it should be, right? I mean, the guy has some respect for precious items. And so he's like, hey, can I have a pen? We want to make sure we get this right. We don't want to screw it up. Just a little play-by-play before we get to the rest.
Okay, ready, everybody? Let's see here. Oh, that came out good. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Wow. You never know. These are hard to sign. But that came out pretty good.
Is that the first guitar you signed?
Just about. Now, Biden couldn't do that. He'd have to send it out to be signed.
So everyone's, melting down, but because why? Because it's Donald Trump and he signed a guitar. This is a replica guitar. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It is a exact replica of Donald Trump's, Elvis Presley's guitar. And he's in Graceland. He took the tour in Graceland. I mean, what president takes a tour wherever he's at, takes the tour, and then they ask him to sign the guitar. Now, listen, I happen to have traversed all over the world, and one thing I have done is been to a lot of hard rock cafes. London, Hong Kong, Germany, the Philippines, South Korea, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and pretty much everywhere. Denver. I've been a lot of hard rocks. And it's not that I like the restaurant, because I don't. It's just the one staple of Americana wherever you go in the world. If you want to eat American food when you're overseas, go to a Hard Rock, because they don't mess with the menu. You get American food in Hard Rocks. There's no teriyaki burger in Japan like at Mekanadno's, also known as McDonald's. So inside there, and how do I know this? Because I'm a big Les Paul fan. Huge. I love the Les Paul guitar. And Richard Nixon had a guitar gifted to him by Les Paul, the actual maker and guitar player, and Richard Nixon signed it right next to Les Paul, and it's in Hard Rock Cafe. Graceland has tons of different stuff signed by celebrities and presidents and dignitaries. Who cares? Your thoughts on this? Are you going to lose some sleep tonight knowing that Donald Trump signed a replica guitar of Elvis Presley?
Not a wink. I'm going to sleep like a baby. I'll tell you what, the number of people that seem to get emotionally outraged over anything that the man does, it's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
I don't think that enough credit gets given to the president for doing things like this that are like off the cuff.
Right.
But pretty impactful when you think about the number of people that he comes in contact with when he does these kinds of things. Like in almost every one of the interviews where you find out, oh, like he wasn't asked to do that. Like we asked him to do this, but it was, he just said, yeah, like obliged willingly.
And he sounded just like that when he says it. He's just like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's not enough credit given to him for doing things like that. He just seems like so accommodating, and that's kind of refreshing. I think.
I agree. And listen, if you told me that you could get me a replica guitar signed by Donald Trump, I'd take it. Who cares? Who cares why they want it? They ask, what's he supposed to say? No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that, because the image of it would be a big deal. Now, if it was an authentic Elvis Presley guitar and they asked, I think the question why probably is one that you want to ask. But let me ask you a question. Is there anything different? Like, let me ask you a question. Leeroy, who's your most famous person that you would want to meet and talk with and have a conversation with?
Oh, geez. That's a good one.
Just
the most famous person, dead or alive, doesn't matter. Probably be someone like a Steven Spielberg type, right?
1-0 abs. Okay, so Steven Spielberg comes up and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, what do I have? And you don't have anything. So you go into your pocket and you go, oh, there's a Yul Brynner King and I reproduction play that you were going to, because you ultimately wanted to go ahead and compare chrome domes. And you had, because he's bald, folks. Yes. So he has it in his back pocket, and dude, it's Steven effing Spielberg. He's only going to be there for a few seconds.
Right.
Are you going to say,
sign this?
Oh, this is Yul Brynner, so I can't have him sign that because it's Yul Brynner. I think I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. No. Or are you going to have him sign it?
No, you have him sign it.
Women do boobs, coffee napkins. I mean, come on. Yeah, I would have him sign my left breast.
When my kids and I went and saw at the Yellow Springs Firehouse, we went and saw Dave Chappelle. It's probably been about a year and a half since we've seen him. But the mainline act for that night was Bill Burr. And so my kid at the time wanted to get that signed by Bill Burr, and we couldn't get it in. And so, dude,
that would be perfect, because that is oh my God. Is that a Black Series?
Yeah.
It's a Black Series, dude. I know a thing or two about these things, bro. The Black Series are the best. Hold on now. I'm nerding out because you've seen my collection, and I've got it in Black Series Imperial Guard, a Black Series Boba Fett. I mean, that's impressive. That is a nice piece. I would want to get that signed too.
And we absolutely wanted to. And we were in the front row center seats. Literally from here to the camera was Bill Burr.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get in the door. So
oh my gosh. See, now that would just tear me apart. I'm gonna reach out to Bill, and I'm gonna go to the liberal channels and talk to his wife and Bill and see if they can do that for you, since he's basically turned coat. He's a brown coat now. I liked it when he was just offensive to everybody. Now it's all about politics. Come on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the moment you start taking sides, like, I don't care if you want to make fun of literally everybody. That, to me, that's fantastic. Please continue to do that.
Yeah.
I can take a joke just as much as anybody. I'm all for that. But the moment you start like making it political, and you can tell who you're voting for or who you're supporting, like, now I'm turned off.
Yep. John Day Coleman, thanks for subscribing. Folks, I don't know what's happening, but we're getting slaughtered. We need some help. We put this in, numbers are down. Numbers haven't been this low in a while. YouTube's great. Facebook is just horrendous. And so's Twitter. So can my Twitter peeps get out there and help us out a little bit? Because this is really weird. I've got it tagged. I put it up. Let me make sure it's pinned. It happens sometimes. Yeah, it's pinned. There's no reason. Facebook's been weird today. It's been really slow. Guys, the best way you can help us out to get this thing pushed through is just hit the like button. Share it, hit the like button. That makes a difference. It'll climb up. All right. So
I will pay some person out there a full $500 to hold up a sign that says "We break for the dummies," and do that right in front of Alan Rickson's house as he's driving up. I think that would be amazing.
Why don't you just donate to the show and then we can leave? Let's just donate the $500 and we only have to come on for a third of the night tomorrow. We can just call it good. All right, here we go. Alan Rich said, now here's the thing. This is a great segue, and I didn't even plan it. I told you guys, Leeroy and I just have a natural flow about our things. And speaking of flows, we'll be talking about the tampons in the Baltimore Ravens locker rooms and the men's rooms here shortly. But Alan Richson is the Jack Reacher, and if you've read the books, he is the prototypical Jack Reacher, steroid induced, kung fu, rip your face off, shoot you as look at you. But Alan Richson, I showed you last night the video that we saw, which did not have the full video. Well, I told you, in my opinion, that Alan Richson 100% was free and clear of any wrongdoing in this. Now, was he being an asshole? Maybe. If you're riding your motorbikes that early in the morning and you're going kind of fast and you're revving them up, it's going to piss me off on a Saturday. I'm not going to say it's not. But that doesn't mean you get to hit somebody. So from the physical standpoint of Richson getting sued because he beat the living snot out of this guy, here's the video. Let's watch it. And I have to be as honest as I can be, and that's why I'm showing it, because I want to show you the full video because it's been released. Here is Alan, who was wearing, which he should, a cam. Because he should be wearing a cam. That's smart, because you're going to stop this type of thing from happening when someone tries to give you a giant lawsuit. Here it is. I apologize for the music. I don't know why. Normal neighborhood looks like my neighborhood, looks like Leeroy's neighborhood. Just beautiful houses, nice, pretty. And this guy gets in the way. And Alan literally flips his bike. He hits the, because obviously there's a way to hit the brake system so you don't do that.
Stand in front of a fucking bike again, dude. We're doing what? You threatened my fucking safety, bro. Are you kidding me? I should knock you the fuck out of him. Go ahead, go down. Go down. I've called the BPD. I've called them already because you've been driving around this fucking neighborhood like a fucking lunatic. This kid's running.
All right, so he's saying you're driving down the neighborhood like a lunatic, blah, 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 okay? It's not about the sound. You really don't need to hear it. He's like, I'm going to knock you out. Okay, buddy. All right, so now he goes back and gets a bike, and obviously he picks it up by the throttle. Not a good idea. And he picks it up by the throttle, and of course the bike starts peeling out, and because of inertia, he loses it. But this guy's still cussing at him. It's not how you pick up a running bike.
Man, That music is so zen.
It's so soothing. All right, so
Like
now
you're
he's
getting
here.
massage.
This is what we saw.
Oh,
Fucking out of your goddamn mind. Stay down.
Keeps telling him to stay down. Dogs the bike. Now, if this is the way you're going through the neighborhood, like this, that's a whole nother conversation. And his kid is busting ass on this bike. There's a way to drive through a neighborhood. There's kids playing. That's a whole nother conversation. I got a problem with him driving, bikes and revving and going fast, whatever. I understand it's a free world. Go get some dirt bikes and go out in the middle of nowhere. Go to Moab.
Sure.
It's not a resi area. I would be pissed too. But what do you think, Leeroy?
this is one of those instances, and I've been hashing this over for the last day and a half. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I liked the Reacher character so much. Maybe it's because I liked the movie War Machine or the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think they're both wrong.
Right,
I
they are.
absolutely think they are both wrong. That dude had no reason to stand in the middle of the road, stop a bike. It's like standing in front of a car. Why would you do that?
Right.
Just
Unless you're a
assuming
liberal.
gonna-
Unless you're a
right.
liberal.
It's just assuming that the bike is going to stop in time. You're begging for a lawsuit at that point. Now, I say that to say this. I would be just as aggravated if a bunch of bikes were roaming around my neighborhood at high speeds, revving their engines. I would be torqued too, and I would want to approach the operators of said bikes. But there's a way to do it. That wasn't it. And now here's where I think Alan Rickson was wrong. After he got pushed, and I understand that, Alan Rickson, if he was pushed, the guy admitted to pushing him.
Twice.
Because Alan Rickson was pushed, right, I see some level of physical interaction that is warranted. But here's the thing. That guy was on the ground. And in the first video that we saw, the one that debuted a day and a half ago, you can clearly see Alan Rickson teeing off on this guy when he's already on the ground.
Well,
and
he
that's
did-
the part. He
All
did
right,
tell him to stay down.
He's telling him to stay down, and you got kids there. And if you're going to throw, like, it's just with a gun. If you're going to throw it, if you're going to pull a gun, you put the person down. If you're going to throw blows, you're going to throw in hands, you keep the person down because he's a threat to your kid. Listen, at any time, he could have went around the guy, got the family out, whatever, and just avoided the altercation. The point is that guy standing in front of his bike put him in a situation where he stopped him from going home. Now, that is kidnapping in a lot of states. The moment you don't allow someone to leave, that is officially kidnapping. Whether you consider that to be chicken shit or not, that's just the way it is. I understand where he came from. The guy did call the police about them speeding. But I also know what it's like on a Saturday, early in the morning, when you're trying to sleep. I also know what it's like in barracks when you're like, it's your Sunday, and you just want to sleep. And you've had a long watch, and then somebody in your berthing just gets up and turns on their music and starts ironing their clothes and you're like, could you just not be a complete jackass? Could you just understand you got other people here? You know what? I get all that. The point is, I agree with you. They were both wrong. They were both right. You know what? They were both wrong. I don't know if they were both right. I think Alan was correct.
Alan was probably more right.
Yeah. I don't know if that guy was right in any way, shape, or form. So they were both wrong, but I think Alan Rickson was right at the same time.
And that takes a lot for me to say, because from the first video that I saw, I was like, man, that guy is already in the ground. Why is basically a star, right? A huge man to begin with. Alan Rickson is 6'3", something like that. Clearly the guy's in
huge.
shape. And yeah. And so when you
not
see
cardiovascularly though, did you hear him sucking wind? He wasn't doing too well cardiovascular. He may be buff, but that doesn't mean you're in shape. Just saying.
Well, my point is, when you've got that large of a man and he's teeing off on a guy who's already on the ground, that had more negative connotation. There's some negative imagery that's attached to that, especially given that Alan Rickson is a star. And whatever the PR nightmare is that's involved with that, I think there's going to be a little bit to dig out of from that.
I don't care if Alan Richardson is a liberal. That matters nothing to me. I don't care. I'm assessing this from looking at the situation. Those weren't dirt bikes. Those are street bikes. Those are crotch rockets. Those are not dirt bikes. The neighbor had a dirt bike, and those are also obnoxiously loud. I look at it this way. If you're speeding in a residential area, I have people who go down our street all the time, and they book down here 85 miles an hour. I had a guy T-bone a trailer because of fog, and he went over the hill, and he went right into the back of it, and he propelled the ATVs that were attached to it, and they went through the F-150 of the person who was parked, almost killed him. So, listen, all I care about is this. The best advice I ever got from a friend of mine who was not a Master Chief, but spent some time in the military, wasn't U.S. military, was that if you're going to throw blows with somebody, understand that you can control the amount of physicality that takes place based upon what you deliver. But how someone receives that is not up to you. And if they can't take a hit and go straight back, and they hit a screw that is unsanded down and soldered off on the ground, and it punctures their cerebellum, then you're going to prison for the rest of your life.
Right.
If you hit somebody and you smash their nose and it goes into their brain, you are going to prison for the rest of your life. And I am just, I've seen people take hits to the face so hard that it just detaches their brainstem and they die.
Absolutely.
It just like if I hit somebody
Far
and you're not ready for it, yeah.
Don't you agree that it's far easier to take a hit and really do some serious damage? That's far more a common occurrence than most people would give it credit for.
Yeah.
What you see in the movies, when you see when you see Jack Reacher hitting people in the show, it makes it look like, oh, these people can just walk away from anything.
Yeah.
It's actually not like that. The human body is far more delicate than that. And if you take one of those to the dome, there's a very high likelihood you're going to do some serious damage.
Listen, breaking the law is breaking the law. If you're going around and you're doing 65 in a residential 25 and you're putting kids in danger, the police should show up and address the situation. Otherwise, people are going to take it into their own hands. So I understand the comment of, well, police are stretched, police are busy. That lawlessness and criminal activity don't care that police are busy. So, I understand what people are saying, but these are really mixed issues. It comes down to this. Could he have gotten away without getting off the bike? And that's what the question's going to be. And if he sues him, and it sounds like the guy isn't going to sue. It sounds like the guy had been drinking. It sounded like the guy knew and openly admitted that he pushed him and got physical first. Yeah. He got in the road and blocked him. Whatever happens after that, he has to have at least the same level of culpability, which probably means that he's not going to be able to sue unless there's damages, which it just looks like he got his bell rung a couple times. And Richardson kicked his butt. There's no doubt. He punched him a few times. But I also know that he did not hit him the way he could hit him.
Right.
Let's be honest.
There was some restraint that was observed there, and we could tell that. Now, I think that if I were a movie star and something like that happened to me, and I ended up letting my emotions get the better of me, the moment that guy went down, let's say I had popped him one, great. You have to imagine that maybe Alan didn't know there were cameras on him already, but I would think that his career would take the hell off, and he just said, all right, look, you're done, and then actually helped him up. Alan would be booking movie deals left and right. Well,
he let's face it, he already is. I mean, the guy's pretty much everywhere. The question is will the Democrats do what they always do, and then will they cancel this guy? If the guy was black or a Muslim, then most assuredly Richardson would be done. Rick, it's not Rick though. It's Ritchson.
Don't correct me.
I'm just saying it might be Rickson, but it sounds. I think it's Richardson. It doesn't matter. I really don't care enough unless he wants to give me money. Jessica says, I guess I get that our neighborhood struggles with cars speeding as well, and other vehicles will occasionally send someone to monitor things at bus time. Otherwise, it's too much for them to do much. Right. But my point is that remember what we just said is that he should have just driven by and not done anything. Well. Right. If the police never come, who's going to stop it? When's it going to not be okay? When a kid gets run over? Right. When somebody goes ahead and hits grandma crossing the street, or you kill somebody's dog?
You go from 65 miles an hour in a 25 to all of a sudden 65 miles an hour, and you've blown through a stop sign, T-boning somebody.
Yeah.
Now it's a bigger issue. And the fact that the police did or did not show up, I mean, that's going to play a pivotal role in the actual guilt process.
I agree with everything.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with just about everything. Everything that's been said. I could see it all different ways. It's one of those things where I'm not trying to convince anyone of my position. I'm just trying to give you variables. Moving on. Hirano. This is the Hawaii Senator, Marano. Marano Hirano is her name. Hopefully Donald Trump picks up. Marano Hirano. She's a moron. I hope he picks it up. I hope he grabs it. It's a pretty good name. Marano Hirano. Listen, this is the most outrageously stupid thing I've ever heard a senator say. And that's saying something considering what show and what type of show we have. Here it is.
Non-citizen voting in federal elections is already illegal. It is a federal crime. If a non-citizen illegally votes in a federal election, they could be prosecuted and even sentenced up to 5 years in prison. Who is going to commit this kind of fraud knowing that they could be in prison for 5 years?
About 1,700 people every 4 years.
Bro, like, I don't have much. I've already think I punched the wall 3 or 4 times on this. So, like, I'll just let you take it. Is there any other practical analogy that we could make to Miss Marano Hirano where she could possibly understand what she said was literally retarded?
No, I don't think. And that's the thing. I don't think that people like that. And I don't mean her as in her gender or nationality. I'm saying the liberal types who just feel like, that they're always right no matter what. If they're looking for hard evidence every 4 years, there's plenty of it out there. We have covered it on the show before. There are close to 1,700 to 1,800 prosecutions for federal voting crimes every 4 years. And she's saying what? That doesn't really happen. Now, is it enough to change the results of an election?
Depending.
In most cases, probably not.
But does it matter?
And that's the point. Does it matter? If the entire voting process, the one restriction that's in place is that you're supposed to be a U.S. citizen when you cast your vote, right? Then shouldn't there be a process to check for citizenship prior to voting? If I'm asked for my ID when I go buy a gun, I'm asked for my ID when I go to open a bank account, I'm asked for my ID when I go to get on a plane. Why are we not asking for IDs when it's time to vote?
Why don't we just make drugs illegal? Why don't we make shooting a school illegal? I mean, we could just solve a lot of problems.
Isn't it already?
Yeah. Oh, is it? I didn't know that. No, it can't be. It can't be because she says that if you make it illegal, it won't happen and nobody will want to do it because there's repercussions. So I guess we can go ahead and remove the 27,000 pieces of legislation that has the word gun in it that are sitting waiting to either be approved or condemned into a life under the Library of Congress for eternity. Because all you have to do is make it illegal. You can't shoot anybody anymore unless you're justified. Oh, well, that's good. I like it. So Marano Hirano gets the daily. I mucked it. I didn't have my audio on. Gets the daily.
Wake!
It's gonna be a long night when that happens, folks. We have a lot of really interesting stuff going on tonight, so I want you to pay attention. These next two. Leeroy was on the show. We talked about this.
Folks, if you like what you're hearing, feel free to, please visit the dumb store and or make a friendly neighborhood donation.
Yes.
It takes quite a bit to keep the lights on, and we're about half an hour, 45 minutes into this, and
duck egg.
We're sitting at a zero. So let's
and Hayden is on donations for the first time ever. So she's getting a very big complex. She's getting she's like, she just came across the corner. She said, "Do they not like me?" And I said, I don't know, Hayden. Maybe they don't.
Yes. They don't like you.
They don't like you, Hayden. Sorry. So here's the deal. You guys got to watch this. This is important. Does Real ID prove citizenship because there are far too many illegals driving with state-issued license? No, Real ID does not prove citizenship. It proves you have a birth certificate, or it proves that you have verifiable reason to be in this country, but it does not show citizenship. I was mistaken on that when I said that, and I corrected it a while ago. It is a higher level of verification than a regular driver's license, considering that you don't even have to be a citizen to get a driver's license.
Right.
So no. Yeah. No,
I think we covered that a couple shows back. Or there is one that does so. It's called an enhanced ID, but it's an additional, depending on the state you live in, $10 to $40, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't think they can make that mandatory.
Larry Hatfield said it best. Hirano, her number one question in any confirmation hearing is, have you ever been accused of a sexual crime? She asked that of everybody. That's her. That's the one. If you guys remember that video, she does it. Anyway, this is more important. Candace Owens goes on record with Joe Kent. I want you to listen to this. Because remember when Leeroy was on last and I said, I want you guys to bet. I can almost guarantee it. I think I said I was 95, and then I dropped it down to 75% sure because Leeroy brought my intelligence training back, and I was like, I'm really putting myself out here. But I was still 95% sure that Candace Owens had Joe Kent on payroll and that he was leaking to her and Tucker Carlson, and I said that as clear as day. Nobody had made that claim before I said this. Not one effing person. And everyone listened to it because, listen, I watch the same shows you do. I watch the same Twitter feed you do. Show me one before our show where anyone was saying that. Now everyone's saying it. But it's a day late and a dollar short. Watch this. Here's Candace Owens addressing Joe Kent. I want you to listen specifically to the language that she uses.
I told you the truth based off of my discussions with Charlie about where his headspace was at when it came to Israel. I didn't need Joe Kent for that. I didn't even know Joe Kent at all. Had never had a single communication with Joe Kent until after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Megyn Kelly told the truth. This man at all. And so this whole idea of never had a single communication with Joe Kent until after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And at all, had never had a single communication with Joe Kent until after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Had never had a single communication with Joe Kent until after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That is the honest to God truth. I didn't know this man at all. And so this whole idea that everyone's colluding to tell the truth. Megyn Kelly told the truth. Tucker Carlson told the truth. And you guys hate us for that. You guys want us canceled and attacked for having the spine to do what you did not. You were going to allow a hostile takeover of his legacy, and we said hell no. So there it is.
God, I'd love to know what she is on.
I hate her. It's hate. It's no longer dislike. I hate that woman. And all because Charlie chose a whitey. I mean, really, that's what it is. Let's just be honest. He chose a white woman over you. You're pissed. That's why you went and married a white guy. You married a white guy. And for you to sit there and say Charlie wasn't your type, okay. That's ridiculous when you look at her husband versus Charlie Kirk. There's some similarities, both very skinny, lanky, and tall. Charlie was her type. She was absolutely infatuated with Charlie. I don't need a degree in psychology or be an FBI profiler to know that she's got some serious case of the jellies. But here's what you were looking for. Merry Christmas. Because I'm going to play this whole thing in its entirety. Leeroy and I'm going to keep watching my Avs game, beat Pittsburgh. Leeroy's going to go get a glass of whiskey. I'm probably going to smoke a cigar. And I want you just to remember what we talked about. And this is for you. This is breaking. This is just in the last hour and a half. A lot of you probably haven't seen this because you were waiting for the show. So here it is. And all I can say is, I rest my case. This house
is clean.
Is clean. It's exorcised of demons, I tell you. By the way, did you guys see the new Zoom feature? Look at this. Look at this. See my hand? Never have you seen it so close. Oh. Oh. Gosh, I love. Okay, here it is. Watch. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. It's going to piss you off. Remember what I told you. Remember the entire thing I told you. Candace has been hunting for the person who killed Charlie Kirk. All she would have to do is go to the Provo jail, and she would be able to find the person who murdered and assassinated Charlie Kirk. But that's not good enough for her. She's hot on the case, hot on the trail. Paw Patrol. She's there, ready to break the case, folks. Because if it's not Britney Spears, and it's not Macron, and it's not the FBI, and it's not Erica Kirk, and it's not a bee cult, and it's not Jewish space lasers, it's got to be anything but Tyler Robertson. Here it is.
Blake, how you doing?
I was better a few minutes ago, Andrew.
And we will get into that in just a second. So, moments ago,
be prepared to be upset. And it's a great time to donate, folks. We have zero.
New report from journalist Michael Schellenberger dropped. As you know, yesterday we covered the backstory, but what really happened with the screen grabs, the notorious screen grabs now, and I revealed to this audience that I did, in fact, share that screen grab with Joe Kent. And Joe suggested that I leak that publicly. I declined. I went back through our messages, and he suggested I do so twice. I declined. Obviously, those were private messages. I wanted to keep them private for Charlie's sake. I thought it was honoring my friend. Anyway, so this new report comes out from Schellenberger, and it says, as you see on your screen, that Joe Kent says he's willing to testify at the trial of Tyler Robinson. So this is obviously a huge bombshell and escalates everything to a much bigger level. I have reached out to Michael Schellenberger, and he has agreed to come on the show today. He interviewed Joe Kent for this report. So these are Joe Kent's own words. Michael Schellenberger will be joining us at 1:30 Eastern. So set your clocks and please tune in then. It's going to be an important conversation. And Blake, let's just take this out a step and explain why this is actually a really important thing. As you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that we do not indulge, that we do not discuss. This is different. Joe Kent was a government official at a very important post, and now he's saying he's willing to testify ostensibly on behalf of Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
This is a bigger deal. This is a line cross that we have not seen.
Yes. Let's just recite it, where he says, Kent, this is Schellenberger's reporting on Substack. Kent said he knew he might be called as a witness before he made his statements that a, quote, foreign nexus may have been involved in Kirk's assassination. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking. When pressed that his testimony could help the Robinson defense, Kent said, then honestly, so be it. If it gets us to the truth, that's obviously the risk I'm taking. Neither Robinson's attorneys nor the prosecuting attorneys responded to a request for comment. And then I'm not sure if there's more. I might have to pay for Schellenberger's subscription.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure it does go further. And we're going to, like I said, be talking to Michael Schellenberger in the second half of next hour at 1:30 Eastern. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say. This to me is galaxy brain run amok. And let me explain why I say that. Jonathan Turley, who is I guess he's a contributor to Fox News, legal contributor. He's a professor of law at George Washington University, said that 90% of the evidence accumulated against Tyler Robinson could be thrown out. So the defense could be successful in throwing out 90% of the evidence, and he would still be found guilty of murder.
Let's refresh people. There is a murder weapon that was found.
Anonymous donated $25. Leeroy, your real name better hold up. Hi, Matt. Yeah, it's going to be fine. You're going to be fine when you get his real name. Trust me. Thank you for the donation. Thanks for starting us off. A little late. We're a little nervous, but we appreciate this starting. But keep watching because this gets worse.
Found near the site of the shooting. It was owned by Tyler Robinson's family.
Given to him by his grandpa.
Of the caliber used to shoot Charlie. It has his DNA all over it.
All over the casings.
They release a photo of the shooter. They are not able to find him otherwise. Tyler Robinson's parents see that photo and think, that looks like Tyler. They begin asking him things like, where is your, I believe it was his grandfather's gun. They start asking him this. Tyler Robinson starts talking like he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him. He admits that it's him. They get him to drive up to Orem and turn himself in. His parents helped him turn him in. And you run into people who say that that didn't happen or that's fabricated.
There's digital confessions.
There's digital confessions, but also his parents are out there. They have never stepped forward and said this is a lie. They could easily do that. It would be trivial to do that if it was the case. They have not done that. His parents turned him in. That is the most obvious piece of evidence in the world that nothing can argue around. And some people are so obsessed with these same conspiracies that they concoct for every other thing that ever happens. And so they have to shove it into this one too, because they care more about their conspiracy theories than about the person who murdered my friend facing justice. I'm
going to stop it there. It goes on for another 4 minutes, but you got the gist of it. Like, listen, I'll just be honest with you. And I'm just going to say my piece, and then this has nothing to do with the video, but it has something to do with the overall topic. And then I'm going to hand it over to Leeroy, because I want his opinion, and it's always he always has great opinions. Yes, we will do a contest for Leeroy's real name. Charity Lamb donated $10. The dumb show is like a breath of fresh air, sometimes much needed. Charity, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Charity.
Here's the deal. I'm going to say this as a avid Charlie Kirk supporter, as a absolute morose and emotionally empathetic and sympathetic to the plight of Erica and her family's loss. Like, if somebody took my wife, or I know if somebody took your husband, you guys would be like, based upon your relationship, it'd be devastating. We know this. But in the fashion as how it was done, that's the problem. I can say this with a 100% straight face. Erica Kirk is awkward as hell. And everyone's like, well, she lost her husband. Yes, she did. She's going through a tough time. Yes, she is. Melanie Marino, $10.80. Thank you so much. Love you, Melanie. All these things are true. But I've watched her videos, and I've seen her eyes, and I've seen the cry on cue months later. And I've seen the fractal reactions that seem very fake and rehearsed. But let me explain something to you on that. Not everybody's meant to be in front of a camera, and Erica Kirk was not meant to be in front of a camera. She had this thrusted upon her because an assassin murdered her husband, and she's doing the best thing she can do to keep the legacy alive, at the behest of Donald Trump, at the behest of the conservative movement, at the behest of her children, at the behest of millions of fans. She is trying to do something, and nobody is allowing her to do anything without derision and being circumspect and full of vitriol. So I can admit she seems awkward and a little fake at times. Yes, I can say that, but that does not mean that she's awkward and fake. She just could be really bad at this. And now you couple that with the emotional damage and trauma she's been through. Get off this lady's ass. Give her at least a year, for God's sake. Just stop. There's people gambling on who she diddles next and how quickly she finds another husband. Erica Kirk comes off like a robot. Erica Kirk comes off as somebody who's trying to please the public. And you know what I would love? I would love Erica Kirk just to come out with a real version of herself and say, all y'all can go yourselves. I love my husband. I'm not going to listen to this trash anymore. I'm not going to dignify this trash anymore. I'm going to run TPUSA like Charlie wanted, full steam ahead, and we are going to convert youth to the conservative principles, Christ, and Western civilization, whether you like it or not, how I say something or how I react. You want to see the real me? This is me. All shows are off. That would be a breath of fresh air. But guess what? Maybe she doesn't have the capability. I am so sick and tired of these conspiracy effing nut jobs. And it's always the Jews, and she's CIA, and she was paid. Candace Owens single-handedly is the most retarded son of a I've ever met in my life, and how any people follow her shocks the living crap out of me. I don't understand how you listen to her and say, she brings the receipts. She's doing the Lord's work. It just makes me understand while some people believe the world is flat and how you folks continue to either vote Democrat or won't vote Republican because you guys think that your vote doesn't matter and you think the Jews control everything and you think the space lasers are going to get you and that there's clones drinking the blood of children who are in place of real people like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. You know what? I can't condone stupidity anymore. And I haven't, honestly, for 5.5 years. That's why we created this show. So there's my opinion. Leave Erica Kirk alone. That's what I'm trying to say. Here it is. It's just like this.
Leave Brittany alone! Please!
Jack Ruby's most famous words. Why did you kill Lee Harvey Oswald? Because I didn't want to put Jackie Onassis through anything anymore. A complete lie. But those were his words. He didn't want to put the Kennedy family through when they already had enough. Someone just said they treated Jackie O. It was Michelle. They did. They treated Jackie O the same way. It's got to stop. Leeroy, thank you for letting me go off. Do your thing.
Yeah. So there's 4 kind of points that I would like to make sure that everyone can metabolize, right? First of all, Erica Kirk is not on trial. The actions when you're setting up a trial, a legal trial, and you're trying to assign guilt to a party, that whole trial is going to be about Tyler Robinson, what he was doing on the day, and who he shot. If he turns out innocent until proven guilty, that is up to the lawyers to confirm that. Now we in the public, sphere, we kind of think we know what happened. Let's let the law do its thing. But to reinforce that point, Erica Kirk is not the one on trial. And Joe Kent's testimony, I would immediately find suspect. Why? Because Joe Kent wasn't there. Candace Owens wasn't there. The only thing that Joe Kent is going to be able to verbalize is, yes, I read a report that suggested this. And if anything, he might find himself completely discredited. And that's a real possibility. And you know what? If you're just goofy enough to testify to something that you weren't witness to, maybe you should have be completely discredited. I'd be okay with that.
I would too.
Candace wasn't there. Candace has been spinning these conspiracy theories for months now. And it's very distasteful. It does not in any way, shape, or form help the Kirk family. If anything, she's trying to at times point blame towards either Erica Kirk or to any other of the number of conspiracies that she's trying to whittle out of thin air. I find Candace to be completely off the rail.
Yeah.
Not somebody who is trustworthy, not somebody who's bringing the receipts, even though that's what she's claiming. I don't like her. I don't like this style of podcast where all you're doing is saying we didn't land on the moon. I find that
emotional damage.
She's got it.
And the fact of the matter is that when you try to spin up so many conspiracy theories, all that does in the public eye is muddy the waters so much that it influences the trial for Tyler Robinson.
That's right.
Because now you're going to have all of these nutcases that'll, everyone's going to have an opinion, right?
Yep.
Why don't we just let the law run its course? Let it do its thing. Let the lawyers do what they do. If it turns out that there is a reasonable doubt, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sure. Reasonable doubt. Great. What's your fourth point?
Oh, I actually ran through them. It was Erica Kirk is not on trial. Joe Kent wasn't there. Candace wasn't there. And law enforcement officials have confessions from the Tyler Robinson family, right, that have already started that chain of evidence.
Got it.
Which is how we came to the indictment and how we ended up with the trial.
Hillary Clinton had she called in the show earlier and left her opinion.
Birth control makes women unattractive and crazy.
Thank you, Ms. Clinton.
Screw Trump.
Okay, that's enough out of you.
I'm sure she
shut up.
Well, that was some weird shit.
God, I'm so glad that woman is no longer in our ether. Candace Owens, I'm just done with her, and I'm done with her followers. I mean, I just, nobody is this stupid. Nobody. It's just impossible to be this dumb. And if you're like, Matt, why would you say your followers are stupid? I don't think anyone who follows Candace Owens follows this show. I just don't think that's true. I couldn't possibly, not that, this show is so dignified that we don't ever, sound like a bunch of blowhards. It's that she literally has been right about nothing. Nothing.
That's true.
Nothing. Ever. She always brings the receipts. No, you're gullible and you want her to be right. But her sitting here saying, oh, I'm right. Here's a perfect example. I've got video evidence of me saying about Joe Kent that I felt 2 hours after the news broke that this guy was the leaker for Candace Owens and the leaker for Tucker Carlson. And I said that on this show right with Leeroy right here in the same room. That's a receipt. That's a receipt. Right. Candace doesn't have receipts. Candace has, this is what happened, move the goalposts. Mrs. donated $10. Love you guys. Keeping you and your families in prayer. Thank you for your good work. Thank you, Mrs. We
Thank
love you.
Mrs.
Right.
I will say this, when we're talking about Candace's receipts, 9 times out of 10, it's some sort of BS log that says, well, there was an airplane that was flown over this area around this time. And because of that, this other thing on Jupiter happened. And because of that, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And you're like,
gas from Venus. Right.
Right. You're like, you're going to have to do a better job connecting those dots because that was insane.
Yes. Well, there it is. We did it. Alina Haba, she thinks that Dems hate America. It's hard to disagree with her. Plus, she's really good looking, so we can just stare at her. If you don't want to listen to what she has to say, it's cool. Just stare. That's what I did.
Oh, no, it's not simple to fix in this country because we have a divisiveness that is so blindfolding to the Democratic Party that they literally will not keep America safe. That is what this is about. Right. So we care about politics more than protecting our country from illegal immigrants coming in and raping our children or hurting our people.
Happening.
That is literally the priority. They don't even know what the hell they stand for. You know it and I know it. So that's actually what's happening. As to what you spoke about, I agree. We have to get some of these old people out of Senate. I've seen it. I've experienced it, as you know. But the Department of Justice is just trying to, just like Homeland Security, take care of our country. And the fact that you would take money out of these people they're not making a tremendous amount of money. They have mortgages to pay. They have children to feed. And I've experienced a shutdown myself. It's unacceptable. It's un-American, and they have to fix it.
Yeah, but they wanted.
Elizabeth Hall wanted to say thank you. I received my rosary, and so did Olivia. We have to give Leeroy and Amy theirs. I just need you to tell me which ones go to who, because there wasn't anything that designated that. I think we found mine. Is it the wood with the pearls on it, which is abnormally large? Do you think I'm Andre the Giant or something? No, I'm kidding. It's perfect, actually. It's actually right here to show you. If you look in this left-hand corner, underneath the still point picture, the box is right there, and it's hanging down. The rosary is hanging down. I have it right there on set, and wanted to say thank you for that. And I'll make sure Leeroy and Amy get theirs. Olivia also said thank you very much. But I think we know which ones are ours. Let us know, and we're just going to take which ones we like and then give Leeroy and Amy the rest, and so they won't know the difference. Do Dems hate America? I mean, seriously. I mean, can we get to this point? There came a point where we were like, all right, there's a difference between liberals and leftists. There's a difference between leftists and progressives. There's a difference between socialists and progressives and Democrats and liberals. Is there really a difference anymore? Have they not gone so far left that it literally is that they're all the same now. Because how can you allow those things in that party to continue without saying, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to support these. I'm sick of these lockdowns. How can they are so blinded by wanting their confirmation bias to be correct that there is nothing that leftists can't do. There's nothing. There's nothing that they could do to make these people say, okay, you know what? This is wrong.
I will say this. I was listening to a different podcast the other day. And all the while, the Dems, the far left, are casting blame on either long TSA lines or high gas prices. All the entire time they're doing this, right? They're trying to assign blame, right? Did you know that there are plus 20 locations in the United States where TSA has been privatized? JD Stillwell donated $20, says, good evening, every dummy. Thank you, JD, and good evening to you too.
Good evening.
There are 20 plus locations where TSA has been privatized. And you know what the wait time is at those locations? It's like less than 5 minutes. So if we're really trying to make the distinctions between government bureaucracy and letting capitalism and the free market do its job, right? That's a perfect example, because you can blame the Republicans, you can blame the Democrats for not being able to get things passed, right, in terms of law, in terms of getting things funded, right? But when you let the private enterprise do its thing, when you let private industry do its thing, this is what you end up with. 5-minute wait times at 20 plus locations where TSA is still running it, but it's just privately funded. That's amazing to me.
It's huge. I mean, listen, there's nothing worse if you're trying to make a justification for bigger government. The last referral or example you want to give is government. Mello donated $51.99, $127.79 for my most two favorite blowhards. Thank you.
Oh, I read that differently.
You know why it's? Yeah, I read it. I read it too. Yeah, I was gonna say, you know why it's windy in the United States? Because Canada sucks. If you're trying to like I said, to give an endorsement for a government program, the last thing you want to do is demonstrate another government program. The only thing you could really do is the U.S. mail. But the problem is even though the U.S. mail is successful, and even though you can get a letter across the country in about 2 to 3 days, the issue is that they are $30 billion in the hole annually and have been subsidized, and they never hit their budget because the price to do that is more than they actually get to do the budget. So the problem is that the U.S. Postal Service was an amazing thing when you were using ponies and stagecoaches, and it did wonderful, wonderful, good things. But it took a month to 45 days, sometimes 6 months overseas to get the letter there. Now you have things called email. You don't need mail anymore. You just don't. Now, if you want to write a letter, that's fine. But we should not be dumping that much in. The government, we should privatize. Because here's the thing, folks. The government doesn't do things very, very well at scale. It just doesn't. It just doesn't do it well at scale. And this is why socialized medicine sucks. This is why relying on a third world or another country to provide you for defense doesn't work. Is the United States is good at a very few things, and it should stick to those things. And smaller government is always the answer. And whenever government gets too big, like in the USPS, you should have the private industry make a comparison. And here's what it is. The USPS handled all major postal service because it's called the U.S. Postal Service. They handled all post, even boxes, even freight. And guess what happened? Somebody said, we're going to create USPS or UPS. We're going to create DHL. We're going to create FedEx. And we are going to create and they do it better. Why do they do it better? Well, because they are a free market and they have competition and they don't have the bureaucratic red tape. But most importantly, they don't have the skill set at government level that the private industries do. That's just the way it works. Every time you take a private industry versus a governmental run one, there are usually polar opposites of success. Both don't do it well. Let me give you an example. Look at Flint, Michigan. You know who did all the piping and all the water? Private industry. And it was full of lead and killing people. Not very good. Government and EPA does a pretty good job on inspections and putting gas under and water lines under without destroying the environment. Yes, we have pipes leak. Yes, we have things happen. But the private industry has been unsuccessful. So the EPA comes in and they monitor. The problem is that the EPA is a big bloated bitch, and she puts in rules and regulations that stops the private industry from being successful. And there you have a situation where both do harm. It's good to have a good balance of both.
Yes, completely agree. There are several industries, when airlines were deregulated, the price of the tickets actually went down, not up. And so there's always this discussion of what do the regulations do to certain industries, be it Bell Telephone, be it the railroad industry, be it, energy sector. I find that more than half the time, right, private industry can generally do things better, but we still need some level of federal government to kind of step in and just give us the guidelines. The one thing that I really dislike, and this is on a case-by-case basis, like these are down the rabbit hole, far in the weeds, that we don't need to get into tonight. But the one thing that I really dislike is the idea of subsidies, right? I don't like the idea of paying an industry to not farm, or the Postal Service, or any one of the number of subsidies that are currently being paid by taxpayers, right? We should just not do that kind of stuff. And and again, this goes into, there's several different areas that I don't want to get into tonight, but that's just another area where I'm like, that is just taxpayer money, right? That is being sent to somebody to either prop up a business or to shield it from free market advances.
Right. The point of it.
Yes.
The point of this. Democrats hate America. And until you repudiate the politics that are leading to that behavior, then you're a part of the division and you have to own it. We had to own J6. We had to own 2014 when the acolytes and the Christian fundamentalist groups came through and basically took over the Republican Party. We have to own those things. You have to own the issues that you have. We had to own Watergate. We have to own Iran-Contra. Well, Democrats have systematically been causing nothing but turmoil in this government for the last 20 years. It's them. It's on them. From shutdowns to horrible policies to overreach to censorship to spying on Americans. Democrats, they don't care unless it's happening to them. And the collective thought is that they will allow and expand the government to the nth degree as long as they agree with what the expansionism is and who it's targeting specifically.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
That's why Democrats, they own it now.
If it's an overreaching program that was birthed from the right, they will criticize the shit out of it and tell you that the government is after your rights, that everything that the right had pitched is there to erode your rights, right? But if it's something that they pitch that is, again, another overreaching government program, they will defend it to the death, saying, we're doing this because we're protecting other people's rights, even though it has the exact opposite effect.
Right. It's not that hard.
No.
So when Alina comes out and says Democrats hate America, it's not hyperbole, in my opinion. because they fundamentally want to change everything about Western civilization, everything about our country, and change every word about it. Let me give you just a quick example. I bet it was an argument. I had to ban this guy today. 72 replies in 24 hours. First of all, people think I banned them because I don't want to argue with them. No, that's not true. It's that I can't stand you constantly blowing up my message center. Like, it's just, if you knew how many times my phone went off in an hour, do you guys understand? No, you don't. You just don't understand. Damani he co-shares my page with me, and he's on there, and he goes, "Oh my God, I have to turn off your notifications. They're driving me crazy." And I go to him and I say, "Dude, I already did the same thing the moment you joined up with our network." You can't stand it. But this guy came into me and he said, I posted this meme, okay? And a simple meme. And this is an interesting thing. This isn't a dick measuring contest on this. This is just opinion. And on it, it talks about transgenderism. And it's on the page right now. You can go see it. I can't find it. It doesn't matter. But it basically says that these people who believe that there are multiple genders, blah, 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 also believe that gender is a construct. And how much of a hypocrisy it is that you can't make up gender, they say. You can't call me male or female because that's a microaggression. But then you can make up as many genders as you want and everyone has to accept it.
Right.
So there's a contradiction there. And what I tried to explain is when somebody says gender is not real or gender is a social construct mean the same thing. In the sense that if I say this is an objective truth, there is a gun in my hand, that's objective.
Sure.
Whether you believe it or not, or whether you're present, or whether you accept it or put your endorsement on it, there's still going to be a gun in my hand no matter what you say. Fair? That's objective truth.
Fair.
This is objective truth. There's a gun in my hand. Is that objective truth? No. You have to interpret this as a gun. Even though we know this is the universal sign of gun, it's subjective because it needs you to interpret it, and it's not real or doesn't exist without human interpretation. That is the difference between subjective and objective truth, right? You got it, Leeroy? Yep.
Yeah.
Because you know what it means anyway. I'm just checking. Okay. So when somebody says, well, there's gender is a social construct, ask them the following question. So are you saying gender is subjective? Which means it requires your interpretation or my interpretation for it to exist. And then they say, no, it's objective. And I said, so what you're trying to say is that there are genders that are provable without you and me interpreting what it means. Yes. Great. So in 900 years, when they go ahead and dig up our bones and they see a male and a female structure of skeletal structures, do you believe that they're going to apply 67 different genders to those two people? Or will they say the Homo sapien human race had two genders? One,
right,
and two, binary male and female. Yes? Yes? Great. Then it is subjective, which means you made it up. That does not require me to confirm that it's real, and I don't have to go ahead and agree with you in your attempt to make it objective truth, because it's impossible. It's fake. It's not real. But male and female is an objective truth. Period. Go ahead, Leeroy.
One of the guests that we had on, which was Scott Nugent, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go. And as it turned out, I thought that was an absolutely phenomenal episode. But Scott had pointed out that exact argument, that there were differences. And he and I had spoken off channel for some time. But it was this situation where we had tried to understand the crux of the argument, right? And when people were talking, and this was in that Joe Walsh special too, when people are talking about genders, what they're actually describing is personality traits.
Right.
And
right.
if you are, and that's part of the mix up is while people tend to get the two mixed up, the two ideas, are you trying to describe a person's personality traits, or are you trying to discuss their sex and gender? Because there are only two genders.
Right.
There
Period.
are only two gambits. There's sperm and egg. There's nothing in between. Whether or not you suffer from a genetic abnormality, different argument.
Doesn't disprove the rule.
Does not disprove the rule. Excuse me. So when we're talking about the gender discussion, right, you have to ask the question, what are you describing? And because it is personality traits and they don't know how to answer any of those questions, they find themselves locked in this circular argument that has no end.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is how you end up in what Matt is describing, which is this, there's an infinite number of genders. No, there's an infinite number of personalities, and you're trying to cross-pollinate the two ideas.
And preferences.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. Can you imagine if I said, because I like steak, I'm a meat eater?
That's partially true.
Well, what if I say I'm a carnivore?
Also partially true.
What if I say I'm an omnivore?
All right. Now that's
there's
more
some
true.
There's some So the point I'm trying to make is that you can be multiple things, but it still doesn't change that you're a human being.
Right.
We're forgetting KP Kafka's, right? Class, phylum, order, genus, species, etc. And in the hierarchy of the kingdom, if we're doing classification, our sexual disposition, it doesn't even make it until the bottom of the list when we get into species or class.
Right.
There are so many things more important than identifying with our genitalia. Now, it is definitely a pre-qualifier to distinguish and dignify the difference between a male and a female. It's one of the prerequisites, but it's not all of them, because we have something even bigger when it comes to chromosomes. Chromosomes prove the theory. So just because you have a preference for something, I like the color blue, therefore I'm a Smurf. What? No,
right.
that doesn't make you a Smurf because you like blue. I like vagina. Okay, that makes you a lesbian, but you're still a chick. So on KP Kafka's, that's way down the list, because we can get into kingdom, class, phylum, genus, origin before we even get to species.
Right.
This is the problem I have, is that you're breaking it down to the most mundane thing. And because I have to enter your brain and know your preferences, it then makes it subjective truth. It's not objective. Well, then everything's subjective. No, it's not. Math is subjective. Biology is subjective. The earth going around the sun is subjective.
Well, that's a really good point, and I want to address that. What you just did there is the entire point to the argument. And that is they want you to be elevated. They want you to get emotional. They want to be enraged, because what they're doing is they're trying to associate gender to some level of victimhood.
Right.
They're trying to say that because I am multi-gender oriented, that I am now a victim, and you don't like me because I'm a victim.
You're coming from sociology versus biology. Go ahead.
Exactly. And because of that, it is a shortcut, right? This whole idea of gender and victimhood is a shortcut to an ideology of emotional outrage.
Yes.
That's
period.
all it is. They want to be seen as victims. They want you to think that you're an oppressor.
Because they're different.
Exactly.
But they're not different. They're the same. This is the biggest lie. Okay, here's the other argument, and I had this videotape, and I should play it, but I didn't get permission, so I won't. Liberal called me like 3 or 4 days ago, lefty, rainbow activists, and they said there is no difference between subjective and objective. Everything is subjective. There is no objective truth. Because what if 2 was 3? But because it's not. What if dog spelled cat? It doesn't. Now, is the English language subjective or objective? Well, it exists whether you agree with it or not, so it's objective. Does every word transfer to every single person? Now that's that's interpretation. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's subjective. But here's the best way. They said there is no such thing as objective truth. And I said, okay, I'm going to show you right now. If I can convince you with 1 sentence, will you stop arguing with me? Will you hang up the phone? They said yes. And I had it on video. And I'll show this to Leeroy, and I'll even send it to people here, but I can't put it live. And she says to me the following: prove it. And you can't touch me. You can't do anything to me. You can't show me another YouTube video. You just have to say, what, 1 sentence, 2 sentences? I said, 1 sentence is fine. That's all I need. 1 sentence is good. She goes, all right, go ahead. And I said, if you hold your breath for 15 minutes, you'll die. And she says, oh, but I won't allow myself to hold my breath for 15 minutes. I'll breathe. Welcome to subjective versus objective.
Yeah. Right.
I just proved it to you. Without your brain, without you starving for oxygen, you're going to force yourself to breathe. That is subjective. But if you don't take air for 15 minutes and I put you in a vacuum, even if you want to breathe, you're dead. That is an objective truth. I don't need to philosophize. I don't need to run a theory. I don't need to get quantum computing. I just know if I have you hold your breath for 15 minutes with asphyxiation, or put you in a car with some CO2 emissions, or I go ahead and stick you in a freaking sealed coffin and bury you 12 feet deep, you're cooked in 15. You're cooked in 5, but you're going to be cooked either way in 15. All neural patterns to the brain are gone. You're dead. Go ahead, Leeroy. Wrap it up.
Sure. So it is and there's a difference here, right? There's a difference between objective fact and subjective truth. And those are 2 different ideas. The objective fact is that we are at 127.79. The subjective truth is that we need $180 more in order to make our goal. It's about $7 off.
That's so good. that's so.
So if you like what we're talking about, please feel free to chip in and get yourself a Leeroy shirt.
So good. Oh, good. I'm glad we did that. We really needed to do that. Listen, that's a good one. I'll take it. Bombshell on Democrat popularity. The Dems are not very popular. In fact, they're right up there with syphilis and gonorrhea and vasectomies. Watch this.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for
lower than snake shit.
Democrats in Congress. You said it, Kate Baldwin. The lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
That's damning.
I don't know what else to say.
That's going to play a big part. That is going to play a very big part for the midterms.
You can talk over sound effects now. Like if they're a little longer and you're like, okay, I can deal with the sound and talk, go ahead, because we fixed that a while ago. Okay. So I love that you pause now, but you don't. You can talk right through them if they're quiet enough. If they're short one hitters, let people hear them, but you know the sounds by now. Excuse me. 39. There's a little delay here. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, go ahead and try it again. Do. That's wrong. Let's do the other one. Ready? Let's do the burp instead. Let's give that a try. It's perfect. We've got it down. We've got it down, folks. That's what we do. I love it.
Special Officer Duke, reporting.
Mar-a-Lago raid, new emails. Okay, so listen, you guys remember the Mar-a-Lago raid? Remember Joe Biden? Oh, we didn't do anything about it. We didn't do it. Joe Biden had no idea that this took place. No idea that the Mar-a-Lago raid was going to happen. No, we didn't tell CNN and Fox to be there. Oh, yeah? Here you go.
Breaking tonight, a Fox News exclusive. We have new information that appears to directly contradict the Biden administration's insistence it had nothing to do with the Justice Department investigations into then former President Trump's alleged retention of classified material and the subsequent raid on his Mar-a-Lago home. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening to you. These emails obtained by Fox News paint a different picture of the relationship between the Biden White House and the Biden Justice Department. These two offices made it clear at the time, at least publicly, they were not connected and stayed away from any political interference. However, new emails
Jeff Oliphant, thank you for picking up a bag of coffee. We appreciate it. By the way, the winners last night, Paul Rivera won the jacket. And we had two winners of the bags of coffee. One of them reached out and said, hey, I'm really excited for the coffee. I'm glad I won one. We can do that by the Friday night jacket drawings. And not this week, but the week after, we'll be having another drawing. So Paul Rivera won the jacket. And we had two coffee winners last night. Go check last night's show to see we actually drew at the end. Just FYI.
Obtained by Fox News from May 2022, 3 months before Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI, illustrates coordination between the White House counsel's office and the DOJ regarding an interview of Walt Nauta. Now, remember, Walt Nauta is a current White House aide to President Trump, who was then former President Trump aide in Florida. Nauta was later charged alongside Trump by special counsel Jack Smith. The May 10th, 2022 email reads in part, coordination with DOJ and White House counsel are in work to start the process to confirm and interview current administration employee Walt Nauta. This event is dependent upon the timeline of President Biden's brief decision and coordination between White House counsel and DOJ, and in turn, Evan Corcoran's position on the override of privilege assertion and whether or not he seeks an injunction to prevent access. That was written by an FBI agent, and Evan Corcoran, of course, one of Trump's lawyers at the time. This coming August, Brett, will mark 4 years since FBI agents raided Mar-a-Lago. A few days after that, then Attorney General Merrick Garland said this.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
And we're getting new reaction to these emails. Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan in the House says in part, it's always worse than we thought. These newly released documents confirm that the Biden DOJ's raid on Mar-a-Lago was politically motivated. We're also hearing from Attorney General Pam Bondi. AG Bondi says the more we learn about the DOJ weaponization under the prior administration, the worse the story gets. And Brett, she says this right here. It's a key part. She says we will continue disclosing key evidence to our congressional partners to deliver the truth and bring those who committed crimes to justice. That's coming from the Attorney General tonight.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath. We'll see. Anything going to happen, Leeroy? Is this more just kabuki theater? Come on.
Nothing is going to happen from this, but I would be curious to know what the DOJ's stance is and whether or not the documentation that Trump had, the classified documents that Trump had, were there any more or less of a threat than the Biden documents, the documents that Biden had that were classified in his garage? Are either one of them any more or less damning? Because if we're taking sides, I'm all for equal justice if we can go down that path.
Sure. You know, what's interesting is that I have another video that I can show you. I'm not going to play it yet because I don't think that it's qualified enough, but there are now a lot of rumblings that, in particular, the documents that they were looking for were some of the Obama operation, Crossfire Hurricane, and a lot of the original documents that he took. This was rumblings 3 or 4 years ago, but it's almost at this point confirmed. There's multiple sources that have said it. I want to let it play a little bit. But if this is true, these people should be in jail for treason. Like, there's not even a joke about this. There's nothing even funny about this. Folks, we are way behind. This is like our Monday. Our Monday was awesome last night. Monday of last week and Monday before were horrible. And so we're having a little bit of tough time. We've got 30 minutes. I got to put up the clock. I don't like putting up the clock, but I got to put up the clock because we are desperately seeking Susan. And we're desperately seeking about, let's see, it's 127. So what, $82.21? $182.21, something like that. So we need some help, and let's go. Spartacus wanted to chime in on the SAVE Act. We're going to pick up the pace here.
Trump's usual bluster. He has again made this grand statement. I'm not going to sign any bill that comes to me unless the SAVE Act comes to me first. The SAVE Act is a massive voter suppression bill that would make it very difficult for millions of Americans, especially women who have changed their name on their birth certificate no longer matches the name on their real ID or driver's license. It would cause chaos to voting and really shrink the voting rolls 5 or 10%, given the effect it would have. I was talking to a retired, very moderate.
Say what? The voter ID, which stops non-citizens from voting, would do what?
He said 5 or 10%.
Senator yesterday. We were both
really?
laughing.
Let's listen.
I was talking to a retired, no longer matches the name on their real ID or driver's license. It would cause chaos to voting and really shrink the voting rolls 5 or 10%, given the effect it would have. I was talking to a retired, very moderate senator yesterday. We were both laughing. Democrats should just be quiet and let somebody like Lisa Murkowski, who did a big chart, big state of Alaska she put up in her speech and just showed what the SAVE Act would do to voters, making them have to hop on planes, fly.
Yeah, but that's because in Alaska, people live 350 miles away from a city. It's Alaska. That's infrastructure. That's not the reality for most U.S. cities. Really quick, Mr. Holiday, 7521, in honor of the 3 straight near hits on the wheel. Dignity in check, Matt. Mr. Holiday, Matty, I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. We're sitting there rooting for you because you've been so close. You missed it 3 straight times. You were like 1 away. God bless you for your patience. Leeroy, your thoughts on this, the SAVE Act? It's not Alaska, man.
I'm not sure if he is admitting that there are some 10% of the voters who were voting illegally, or is he just being insulting enough to women to say that, oh, if I get married or if I change my address, what, I don't go to get that information corrected on my driver's license before the next voting? Like that doesn't make any sense.
The answer is yes.
And if we're talking about, like, we've covered this on the show before, when you start looking at how many people are registered to vote versus how many people actually come to show up, if he's trying to make the distinction that between 5 and 10% of those, Kevin Bernard donated $10, says, hello, Matt and Leeroy. Hello to you, Kevin. If there are some 10% of the voters who are voting illegally, that's a problem for you, Bubba.
Yeah.
Like, what is the government going to do to make sure that the people that are voting are citizens? What are you going to do?
Let's do the math, shall we? How many people voted in the last election?
Oh. Wasn't it
137? A little higher than that. Had to be higher than that. Trump got, let's look it up. You got Google.
Yeah.
So what do you think? 135, 140, 141? Because we got 73 million votes. Kamala, yeah, it's going to be somewhere between 130 and 140, I would assume. So, see, this is where it's good to use chat. Ooh, this is where it's good to use Chat GPT because it actually would know this. Hey, Larry Hatfield donated $20. Thanks, Larry. We appreciate you. God bless. Go ahead.
Actually, because I'm on a VPN and it thinks I'm out of the country, it tried to look it up for the country that I'm in.
How many people voted 2024? $155 million. Okay. So 155 million. So let's see. We said there were between what? 12 and 20 million illegal immigrants in here. So 10% of that would be 15 million people. Oh my gosh. The math is mathin'. So if we had 155 million and we took 10% of that, we would get 15 million people. 15 million people fits into the quadrant of 12 to 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States. It almost makes sense. I wonder if the math is mathing.
And just because there weren't that many convictions, just because we covered this earlier in the show, only because there was only like 1,700 convictions of documented voter fraud in federal elections, doesn't mean that more didn't happen. They just weren't caught. We just got done talking about the idea of innocent until proven guilty. I don't know how many of these charges actually get thrown out, or how many even get brought to bear, from the FBI standpoint. But I feel like a great first step in order to control
keep going
would be to let's at least make sure that the people that are voting are citizens.
Listen, folks, it's not us saying it. Do I believe that 12 to 20 million people voted illegally in the election? No. But the Democrats sure are, and they just openly admitted it. So this actually is a self-own. This is called the reverse card, folks, in Uno. We literally are like, oh, okay. So you're saying that 15 million people are legally voting? Okay, so we need the SAVE Act, no matter what it does. Because what you're saying is, and let's go back to this analogy real quick before we get to Mel. It's not an analogy. 95%, someone said, well, not everyone has access to email. Well, that's not true. 95% of adults have access to a phone or a computer. 95%. Those 5% that don't aren't sending mail either. Those people aren't on TV. Those people aren't voting. Those people have literally checked out of the world and said, no, I don't care. 95% have access to those things. And here's the other thing. 60% have real ID, which means it shows in the last 20 years, they've been dragging their heels. COVID, the vaccine, we got to 87% in less than a year and a half, but we can't get people to get voter ID. Give me a break. Mel, you wanted to chime in here. Go ahead and give it to us.
Hi, Leeroy. Yeah, I do. Because
Hi, Mel.
This thing that Cory Booker and all the male people in the Dem party keep bringing up, that women, because their names are not the same on their birth certificates, it's going to create whatever. It's a fact of life. And we all know it, and it happens every day. It's not going to be the same. So why they keep bringing up that topic really just grates on my arse. It makes no sense at all.
I agree.
Period.
I understand there are people there who don't have email. I understand there's people there who still have VCR tapes. I understand there's people out there who use rotary phones. But we are not going to stop the progress of society because of the very small minutia. This is the argument about people who say abortions. Well, what if this person was raped, has one leg, they're Jewish, lesbian, black person? Well, thank you for giving me the most impossible scenario. In that case, maybe we might make an exception. We need to advance as society. We are now 330 plus million people in this country. We are growing at an exponential rate. This is not 1920 anymore. We must advance. We must get better. The Supreme Court is about ready to strike down mail-in ballot expansion dates. They are going to tell 29 states that they have to have their ballots counted on the day of. Trust me when I say this. This is going to create more cheating than less cheating, because now they're going to have to come up with new ways to not count these ballots. Folks, we need to get to voter ID. We need to get to a digital solution. We've got to embrace it. We just need you to learn. I know it sucks, but it's the way it is. Mel, what else you got, sweets?
Well, during COVID, I know up here, all of a sudden we got blasted on our phones or computers or whatever, saying that we had to go and get the vax.
Right.
Where did they get that information from?
Right.
So obviously, if you're, and I'm thinking it was the same in the States. I don't know how it worked, because not everybody just wandered in and said, okay, I'm going to go and get the whatever. I'm sure there was notifications, because it was sent out on blast to everybody in the Canadian healthcare system. We all got, you got to go, you have to get this. And if you don't, you can't fly on plane, you can't do whatever. So I'm not too sure how it works in the States, but I'm thinking it was the same because I don't think you could tell 330 million people in the States to wander in and get the jab just because they wanted to go and do it.
Mel, nobody here in the States had a problem cashing their COVID checks, okay?
Nope.
No, nobody.
Exactly.
Everyone got one. Everyone cashed it. We know this because it put us $1.9 trillion more in debt. So come on, people. I don't know how to get to a bank. I don't know how to use the phone. I don't know how to look at my mailbox. You know what? You're giving the Democrats the ammunition they deserve. They say black people are stupid and women are stupid. You're proving their point. You can do this. So you are conservative women. You can give birth with hot water and towels. You can do this. I believe in you.
Yes. Yeah, we can. But anyways, that whole thing about, well, our names aren't the same on our birth certificate later on in life. Well, yeah, that's a fact. And we all managed to go through it. We change our social insurance numbers up here and your social security numbers down there. Every time you get married, you have to go and file a form and say, this is who I am now. Prove that here's your marriage certificate or whatever, or your change of whatever.
Right.
You do it all the time. Like it's a crock of shit. It's a lie. It's an excuse. And it's only preying on more stupid people. But as I watch the things on the videos, and they're all young and whatever, they're all stupid. Like they're all just stupid.
That was my point.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That was my point, is that name changes are something that just naturally happen. Women have been dealing with this for a very, very long time. And it goes well beyond marriages. Think about how many people are getting divorced. If you get divorced and you have to change your name, all of a sudden now there's more an administrative burden for you to do that. Chances are, if you're getting divorced, you're moving out of the house. Right. So when you go get your next ID, now you have the name change. You have to update your mailing address again. So this is something that is not unheard of. You are used to it. It's not that hard.
165 million people in the United States received a COVID check. 90% of the people who were eligible got one. If you're like, I didn't receive a COVID check, well, then you weren't eligible. But it is a comparable number to the people who vote. I just showed you that 155 million, 165 got a check. You can do it. You can do it.
Exactly.
Even if we had a 90% success rate as we did with COVID checks, that's still 155 million people voting, folks. I don't know what to tell you. The numbers add up. So if we can do that. Now, I didn't get a COVID check, Matt. Okay, then here's the thing. Let's repeal the 19th Amendment and women shouldn't vote anymore.
Yep. That will solve.
That'll solve my problem. Have babies. Have babies. Yes, have babies. Let men have all the jobs that we are going to open up because women are going to leave the working field. Kids will get back to normal. We'll get to a 2.1 birthing rate in this country. We'll start growing again, and life will be grand. Let's undo feminism. Let's undo the 19th Amendment, or go get an ID and stop complaining.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Reverse suffrage and you're gold.
That's it. Seriously, just repeal 19th Amendment and then we won't have to hear it anymore. Otherwise, it sucks you have to change your last name. Emasculate your husband and make him change his last name. I don't know what to tell you. Get out there for the sanctity of our republic and do it. And you know what all the people are going to say? Oh, it's not a problem. I vote. It's okay, Matt. Okay, good. Let's not sound like liberals.
Here's the problem. Right.
So on that whole note is, where does it say in anybody's whatever that when you get married, you have to take your husband's name? It doesn't.
Oh, I say that. If that woman, I'm going to tell her twice. I'll tell you what, she doesn't take my last name, I'm going to give her 2 chances.
But so that's a society thing, is automatically when the women get married. So you can use that as a suffrage point for women going, boy, I got married and I had to take my husband's last name and I didn't really want to, and I didn't. But there is no law that says when you get married that you have to take his name. It's on a piece of paper that somebody made up, I don't know how many hundreds of years ago.
It was for rights and properties.
And nobody's ever challenged it.
It was for do
saying,
writ.
Okay,
It was for do writ. And it was absolutely for titles, lands, and patents of nobility. That's why.
Exactly. But
I feel
nobody,
bad for the people
nobody
that use
questions
hyphenated.
that fact.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Here's real quick.
Nobody ever challenges that.
No, they don't. Olivia says, just had a thought about the SAVED Act. When TSA announced that in order to fly, you had to have a real ID by a certain date, no one complained. Well, yes, they did. You actually had to go to the DMV with proof of ID and citizens to get the real ID. Dems didn't say anything, so what's the big deal now? Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's a good point.
It takes 14 seconds. And then you also can pay the $120 and get a Nexus card, and it's all done. And you're good. And you're gold.
Joseph Hilsom says, take my name, bitch.
Yeah.
You can legally keep your maiden name as your middle name. Listen, I'm on women's side. I want you to vote, okay? I want you to work. I want you to have that. But honestly, if you don't, then I'm going to apply forced doctrine because you don't get any of that without men.
Well,
I'm sorry. That's it. Forced doctrine reigns supreme.
Silly.
Sorry.
Yes, it's all silly. Like we're arguing they're arguing crap. So
I know
we're joking and doing whatever. But
we
yeah,
are.
I find it all
I'm being
quite,
purposely obtuse. You understand that, right?
I know you are.
Okay,
I know you are, which is normal, but that's okay.
Easy. You didn't even say hi to me. You know how many times you don't say hi to me when you call into my show?
I'm asked. I didn't know. I said I left it on the little voicemail. Said hi, Matthew.
Oh, did you?
I did say hi.
All right. Well, we love you anyway. Get out of here. Talk to you.
I
Bye.
love you guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Love you,
Bye, Mel.
She's so
I
great.
just looked it up, and I was just curious about this. I asked AI. I have no idea if this is true or not, but according to the AI in a study from the 2006 Brennan Center for Justice Study, 11% of Americans don't possess a government or a photo ID.
Yeah, it's completely 100%. We looked that up. We looked that up a couple months ago when we were talking about. Remember the CDLs out of California? I looked it up. To see how many people. Yeah. I remember that stat. It's absolutely true.
That is
frightening. But dude, listen to me. 8% believe that the Earth is flat.
That's a good point.
9% believe that Bigfoot's real. So, dude, some of the shit, dude, this is not a joke. 6.5% of the United States or the world, United States, I believe. You got to look it up. 6.5% believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. This is not a joke, brother. It's not a joke.
Brown titties make brown milk, I guess.
People, they do. All right, let's rock and roll. We got more to do. Folks, we're 10 minutes out. 233 is where we're at. That's a happy number. We are $67 flat because Matty Howenitz always rounds up because of his OCD. Good conversation. I appreciate it. Here is Trump going off on the rampage Dems.
I think they're going to get votes by doing that. On Thursday, a precious 18-year-old college student named Sheridan Gorman was shot and killed while she was walking in a park. She was just walking in the park, didn't do anything. The illegal alien monster charged with Sheridan's brutal murder had come illegally from Venezuela and been released into our country by Sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. And I don't say that because I think he's fine. He's okay. I don't like him, dislike him. I talk about job performance. That's all I care about, job performance. Worst president in history. And Obama wasn't far behind, by the way. But he was then arrested and released again by Democrat governor, a real slob of a governor, J.B.
You know, we're going to get right back to this, but people doubted me, and I'm going to crush you. I'm going to crush you all right now. See, this. You guys don't understand. You never want to play Leeroy and I in Trivial Pursuit. It's really not a good idea. It's not. And I'm pretty sure Leeroy's pretty damn good too, but my memory is ridiculous. Bigfoot exists. About 10 to 15% of Americans say yes. Chocolate milk comes from brown cows, 5 to 7%. The Earth is flat, 1 to 2%. However, the caveat is the Earth is not a sphere or globe. Is actually 9%.
Technically, it is not a sphere. It is a geoid.
Yeah, I understand.
It is compressed slightly at the poles and bulging slightly at the equator.
Yeah,
but
so am I. You know what? I'm compressed at the poles and bulging in the center too, okay? So, I'm just telling you. Here's the rest of this.
Pritzker in the sanctuary city of Chicago, which we could make safe in 2 months, I would say. 2 months if we sent in the group, Tom, right? 2 months would be good. 3 months, very good. 4 or 5 months, it would be great. But they would never call because they don't.
And I want to make sure we understand, not the technical term, people are saying round. Okay. And yes, it absolutely is pushed in on the poles. We understand because of the pull from the sun. We understand how this works. Also, if you understand how gravity works and overall the lunar tides, it is not a giant pull on half of the earth. It's actually the circumference of the moon that carries over the waves in the oceans. It's a very small sphere. And that's why if you watch the waters, you'll see it hump at one point and flat on both ends because that is the pull from the moon. That is why high tides come in at a different time and low tide comes in at a different time. Yes, we understand that. But just the basic understanding that the earth is a circle, a globe, a sphere, or a geoid is the answer is no, it's not in other people's eyes. Some people believe it's a half dome. Some people believe it's an elongated straight line. There is crazy, stupid people out there.
I think they're going to get votes by doing that. On Thursday.
There was Donald Trump, not much to say about that. But then Mark Wayne Mullins triggers Dems with the level of respect and deference that he shows to Donald Trump in the Oval Office. Watch this.
Breaking tonight, a Fox News exclusive. We have new information that appears to directly contradict the Biden administration's insistence it had nothing to do with the Justice Department investigations into then former President Trump's alleged retention of classified material and the subsequent raid on his.
Thank you. I think that was the most nervous I've ever been. It just seems surreal being in the Oval Office and having the President of the United States speak so highly of me and then recognize my family and know my family by name. It's humbling, and I never take it for granted, but I have made this very clear that I don't care what color your state is. I don't care if you're red or you're blue. At the end of the day, my job is to be Secretary of Homeland and to protect everybody the same, and we will do that. I'll fight every single day. Today I got the privilege of meeting so many of the employees at DHS. These employees have been there for 30 days without pay. And if you need anything to know their dedication to show up and still protect the homeland that you and I enjoy and the freedoms that we're experiencing, they're working with for free because of political politics. That's all I need to know. I told them, as you're fighting 365 days, understand I'll be fighting 365 days beside you. No one's going to outwork me, and I'm not going to let any of them outwork me. The President has entrusted me with this, and failure is not an option. And so thank you so much. And I'm not going to let any of them outwork me. The President has entrusted me with this, and failure is not an option. And so thank you so much, Mr. President.
Failure is not an option in this dojo, is it? Fear is not an option in this dojo, is it? What is wrong, Mr. Lawrence?
Sensei, that's the kid you beat up. No, actually, my first thought was Gene Kranz.
Yeah,
Gene Kranz was the guy who. Yeah. Failure is not an option.
Yeah. For this opportunity, I won't let you down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm just saying the Avalanche are almost fully healthy, and holy shit, teams, watch out. They are just brutalizing Pittsburgh. We got two of our best players back, Logan O'Connor. Gabe Landeskog came back the other night, and Colton's back. We're still missing Lehkonen, who is a first-line player, and Waugh is also down. We get Lehkonen back. Watch out. This team is going to be terrifying. Cuban Cook's kid. This is so funny, dude. Enjoy this. You'll love this. This is a Cuban who took a raft here on two balloons and a pixie straw, and socialist kid. This is great. Watch this.
Oh. Hey, I'm Brett.
Folks, we have a whole bunch of people on. We are crushing it. 32 on Twitter. We're up in 75 on Facebook, 43 on YouTube. Huge on YouTube. Great to see. Also 40 on Rumble. That's a good night. We've got a lot of people on. If everyone gave $1 right now, we would overdrive goal. We're at 233. We're looking for $67 to hit it. I think the show's worth it. Hopefully you've had a good time tonight. There's nothing better than Leeroy and Matt Nights, except for Olivia and Matt Nights. And soon Damani and Matt Nights. But they're still good.
Him.
Leroy's my favorite. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Hola.
Hola? Yeah, that's cultural appropriation. That ain't it, Chief.
Really? Isn't Chief cultural appropriation too? And secondly, I'm from Cuba.
That's awesome. I love your sandwiches. You know, it is pretty sad that those Cubans don't really appreciate the great social programs they've got. Am I right, Chief? I mean, person, Cuba person.
Great social programs? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, like take healthcare, for instance.
Yes, we had healthcare, but it mostly consists of us rubbing dirt in our wounds. But my grandmother was able to build this pretty cool wheelchair out of an old washing machine.
You must be mistaken. I learned all about Cuba's excellent social programs in college.
I love that the kid's wearing a Che Guevara shirt.
Is that right? How long have you been in college?
Half a semester. So yeah, I'm pretty much an expert on socialism. In fact, I'm inviting people to the meeting my group is having. Socialists undermining capitalist knowledge.
Ay, ay, ay. Tell me what else you've learned in college about my country, Mr. Expert.
Bernie Sanders taught me that Cuba has great literacy programs.
Yeah, we used to have to write, I will obey Fidel Castro 100 times every morning.
Also, Bernie taught me that the poor rose up and they stole the means of production from the ugly rich people. That sounds amazing.
We didn't own anything with regards to production. But what we did have, we had a 20-year-old anemic donkey named Gus.
And this is great, but folks, if you just look up socialism and communism, it is that the government owns the means of production. So even the definition of what it is, it's in there. Just FYI.
You miss Gus, but he was delicious.
Okay, by the way, how did you end up in this dystopian capitalist country anyway? We got it really rough here.
Hey, did you order the orange mocha frappuccino?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Tip.
I hate when they look at you like they expect a tip. Anyway, yeah, how did you end up in this terrible place?
We escaped on a raft made out of a mattress and inflated surgical glove.
You mean to tell me that you came to America on purpose?
No, not on a porpoise. On a raft.
I don't understand how somebody could flee Cuban paradise and come to this oppressive, totalitarian hellscape.
I can tell you, we didn't have any of those in Cuba. That I can guarantee you.
What, you mean that in Cuba you guys only have like iPhone 12s? No, don't tell me. iPhone 11s? No, that can't be right.
You young people don't have any idea what socialism is like.
My ride's here. Yeah, Mom. Yes, I'll be there in a second. Gosh, I'm gonna be late to the Antifa protest.
So if you guys like it, I get a lot of people asking, hey, Matt, share it. It's on the site. It's already there. What I'm going to do is there's going to be a couple of videos that I know you guys are going to love. So I will put those on the site during the show. It dropped while you guys were watching. So it's there. It's ready for you to share. Just like the A10 video, which was absolutely awesome. Leeroy, I think I sent that to you. It's godly. Not much to say there. Go ahead.
I absolutely love the young, idealistic, but kind of goofy kid. And that's kind of the point, right? Is that they don't have any real world knowledge. They are completely detached from the ideas of socialism and communism versus the results of socialism and communism.
Right.
Those are two separate things. And you can have what do they say about the road to hell is paved with, great intentions.
Good intentions. Yeah.
So that just seems to be something that is always lost on the left.
This is a great opportunity to do this. The land is my land. This lady is a cattle rancher, folks. $67 away from gold. We just hit our threshold. It is 9 o'clock. We want to stay. We've got a couple more videos for you because we did a lot of talking beforehand, which is great. I love the first video. I love talking about the delusion of multiple genders. But this land is my land. This is a good one. We've probably got about 3 or 4 more videos that I really want to point out. We'll pick up the rest tomorrow. Here, watch this.
If it's my way, I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. 26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt roads she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept the bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
Delcia is one of dozens of landowners approached by an anonymous buyer, one of the major players in artificial intelligence, likely Google or Meta or Amazon, to purchase their land. The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not. We know whenever our food is disappearing, our lands are disappearing, and we don't have any water. And poison, we know we've had it.
Delcia's mom, Ida Huddleston, is now 82 years old. She says she does not need the money or the hassle. She was born on this land and she plans to die here, and she certainly does not trust the promises made by the AI companies or the people who want them to build here.
So what do you say to the people who are in town that say, hey, this is going to bring jobs, this is going to bring economic prosperity?
I say they're a liar and the truth ain't in them. Is what I say. It's a scam.
For Delcia, scam or not, she says she's connected to her home like Scarlett O'Hara was in Gone with the Wind.
As long as she was attached to that land, her spirit never would die. And that's the exact same thing for me right here. As long as I'm on this land, as long as it's feeding me, as long as it's taking care of me, there's nothing that can destroy me if I've got this land.
They sound like every single person in my town. Hands down. Every single person in my town. I love it. Reminds me specifically of a lady I eat breakfast with named Sarah. Just tough as nails, and you don't want to screw with this lady. Leeroy, sounds familiar. The land produces, and there's only so much square footage that we have to produce food in this country. And when you don't have enough food produced in this country, they're going to look for alternative means. And bugs didn't work. I don't know if you guys know this, but all the bug producers that they had, all these manufacturing plants in the United States, they've all gone belly up. So the whole bug crusade of eating crickets and grasshoppers and moths, well, that shit sailed, thank God. But this won't be the last time, because the Food and Drug Administration, when they are going to get desperate, are going to, even though a lot of their regulations we don't believe, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to get tighter, or do you think they're going to get looser when food shortages happen? Leeroy, you got about 30 seconds on this one. Go for it.
Right. Everyone knows that I have a knack for coming up with the absolute perfect quote to really drive a point home. There's a really great TV show that was on for years and years and years called Yellowstone. In that show, it was the Dutton family who owned this giant chunk of property that literally everybody wanted, including the state. And John Dutton had the perfect quote that associates to that story that says, leverage is knowing that if someone had all the money in the world, this is what they'd buy. Yep. Think about that, because that's exactly what this lady is up against. And she is not willing to sell out. Good for her for standing up for herself and the property that she owns, not anybody else.
Correct.
Yeah, I love that. And I wish there were more people like her.
I agree. Well, they are. They're just not going to see them on mainstream news, and they're not going to go ahead and be in big cities, and they're not going to be driving Teslas. Those people have pickup trucks. They usually have calluses on their hands, and they live a very simple life, and they don't want government coming in and messing with them. I happen to live in one of these towns. We're a one-restaurant town. Leroy's been here.
Yep.
It's small, and I love it, and I would never live anyone else. I love these people. I love them. I usually don't do Morning Joe, but dude, he absolutely cooks Schumer, and oh my God. I mean, like, dude, like, you need an autopsy and it's autopsy and a stretcher. Folks, we're getting to desperation time. 67 short. We do not want to miss goal 3 times in a month. We have never done that. I know things are crazy right now, but if you like the show and you're like, listen, we got to help out. We want to do that. And you've been waiting for a time to do it. Now is that time. $67 is where we're at. We could use you. Here is Morning Joe cooks Schumer. This is worth it.
and Iran sees that they have real leverage here, that it's harder and harder.
All right, so Senator,
here's how we ought to get out.
No, hold on a second.
Okay.
You got to answer my question first.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing that Iran, and I think you would agree with me, epicenter of terrorism in the world since 1979, is it good that their military infrastructure is being degraded to the degree that it is? Yes or no?
You can't, because it's a premature question. What is going to happen in the next several months?
No, I can ask that question.
Well, you can't separate.
No, I can't. So you have a military side of it. I can show you my chart, but I think I threw it away. You have the military side, you have the political side. I'm simply asking on the military side, is it good, regardless of whether we agree with going in or not, is it good that Iran's military infrastructure has been seriously degraded?
And again, I have to tell you, Joe, first, you can't, what's going to happen 3 months from now? Is it worth it? What's going to happen? Will the world economy collapse? Will something happen even worse?
What the hell does that have to do
Will
with
the whole energy infrastructure of the world go up in smoke? So you have to, when they do it without planning, when they do it without understanding where they're going,
Senator,
where they're going,
But
I don't
it's a
think
trick
it's
question.
fair.
It's a trick question
No, it's not.
because
It
if
is.
you do not strategize the consequences
I
of
agree with
the
you.
action, the military action, if you obliterate and do all these things, but you don't actually play it out in your minds and have strategy for the
Leeroy has quotes. I've got one from my grandpa Fudpucker. If my grandmother had balls, she would be my grandfather. There's a whole lot of ifs in these statements. Just answer the question.
Let me
consequences, then it may not be good.
Let me answer the question for everybody in America. The answer, yes. It's good that the terrorist regime, their military has been, and capabilities have been degraded radically. The question, Mike, though, is political. It's the political question.
No.
What is the political impact? What's the impact in the Straits? What's the impact in the region?
Joe, in all due respect, if you ask the American people, if you have the choice of degrading the military structure in Iran, but having gasoline be $6 a gallon, and our economy falling into a deep recession where millions lose their job, what do you think?
Senator, you're not listening to me. That's the political side.
No, it's not political.
Okay.
It's a consequence, just like Mika said.
All right, why don't we talk about the Yankees, because you're not following me here.
I am
with all
following
due
you.
respect.
I just don't agree with you.
No, what you don't understand me. There's a big difference. I would say that most Americans would say it's a good thing that it's degraded. Would they agree that we should have gone to war, Mike? I think most Americans, you look at the polls, they don't want this war.
Okay.
They don't want this war, but there is, it's something that I think the Democrats should be, I think it's something, with all due respect, Democrats should be clear about. Iran has tried to kill Americans since 1979. Do you think so?
All right, Leeroy, I want your thoughts. We got to be quick because I do have 2 more videos I need to get through. So give it to me.
I don't typically like Morning Joe, but in this case, he's spot on correct. Chuck Schumer is completely detached from the actual real world results of the war versus the politics. He loves to play the political game, and that's fine. But in this case, he is a complete goof. The degradation of the Iranian military and the wiping out of all of their ICBM sites and that type of thing is a good thing. That is not up for question. That is a good thing that they don't have the capability to kill innocent people.
Let me ask you a question. If you're going to start doing hypotheticals, then why didn't we ask this question? When we're going to talk about a vaccine, is it possible that the after effects could be worse than the actual disease itself? Question mark. Was it done? If we have a depopulation of the U.S., of our country in the United States of America, and we go to a sub 1.21 rate of birth, do abortions in the 67 million people who would have repopulated that deficit and increased our population by another 70 to 80 million people, would that have benefited America or not? Should we continue on this course of action? Question mark. Western civilization being degraded and no longer being the bastion of freedom it once was with multiple countries in Europe. Is it more important now than ever that Israel and the United States do survive so it can reclaim Western civilization and overall Christian morality and the modality of having something other than the Muslim religion for the rest of the world to consume? Question mark. I've got a lot of question marks. I've got a lot of ifs. But what you did not answer is a stronger Iran good or bad for the United States? Yes or no? And the answer is no. Just answer the question. Son of a motherless. Between Leeroy's answer and mine, $67 down, folks. We really want to hit it. We do not want to miss goal. We need some help. Need some help. We're on borrowed time, folks. Leeroy, this is all yours. Olivia found this for you. And after this, I only have one more to show, tampons in the Ravens stadium. But this one is really true and something that you will absolutely agree with. Watch this.
Oh God, another thing that was crazy about Generation X. I don't even know if you can talk about this anymore. But we did this thing. It is so weird. Okay. It was called critical thinking. And it's so crazy. So basically what you would do, this is like in the old days, you would listen to both sides of a story or a topic or an issue, and then you would make your own, this is crazy, you'd make your own opinion that would then guide you through life.
Oh, it's all you, buddy.
Thelma from Scooby-Doo there was hitting it right on the head.
Like G-Scoob.
And I couldn't tell if I was trying to undress her with my eyes or listen to her act. No, that's
both.
That's true. This is spot on correct. Like, and it's great that people are able to bring that into a comedic realm and make it funny. But that's true. Like, too many Americans watch the news and they are spoon-fed what they are told to regurgitate. They just absorb it and say, I'm going to parrot this side of the equation without having any idea of how to balance them. And I guess that's okay if you want to remain in the dark, but at some point you have to do that. You have to learn how to think critically, formulate some opinions, gather both sides. Like we've said it on the show before, I don't support everything Donald Trump has said and done. I don't support everything that the Republicans have said and done. I just find that they are more correct than not when it comes to the idea of who's going to tell Americans what to do and how to live. Angela Hills donated $25, says, trying to get you closet.
It's closer. Olivia's close. It's Hayden. Hayden's struggling tonight. Hayden's on money. She feels bad. She's like, Dad, I'm sorry. We're not hitting it. I'm doing everything I can. It's okay. Keep it up. We appreciate it.
Hayden. You're doing awesome.
You're fine.
Thank you very much for the donation.
$42 away, folks. We're almost there. And this is the last video. This is it. That's all I can do. This video is only a couple minutes, so if we're gonna hit it, we got to hit it now, and then we're out of here. We're gone. I've already missed most of my Avs game where they're killing Pittsburgh 5-1. I'm watching it up here, but I'd really like to be in the comfort of my own home. Leeroy, what's up?
Yeah.
No,
nothing. Okay. We're close to.
We're going. We got to get out of here because he's got to go and I got to go. Tampons in Ravens Stadium last video, and then we're out. Need a savior.
Menstrual hygiene products means appropriately sized tampons. What are appropriately sized tampons?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of such a thing. What do you consider appropriate?
It just means that tampons are offered. There's no specific size.
Well, apparently there's 4 different sizes, so which one would you like them to use?
Just a regular sized tampon in the bathroom.
Okay, maybe it should say that and not appropriately sized tampon. Now, is this going in all bathrooms, men's and women's?
Yes.
How about the Ravens Stadium?
If it is a state-owned building, then yes, it would go in. It's a public building.
Oriole Park?
Well, if it applies to the Raven Stadium, it would also apply to Orioles Park.
I guess Pimlico.
You are an idiot!
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
I can't stand this shit anymore, Leeroy.
I can't do it, man. Like
I
why?
don't understand, dude. I don't understand.
How many dudes do you think are going to be up there trying who are, under this transgender, like, okay, how many dudes are going to be out there trying to jam a tampon up their ass?
Dude, it's like, don't you remember when bathrooms used to sell mints? And you would get little after dinner mints and you put it in a nickel and they would have a washing station, and you would have like club gel, and you would have hand sanitizer, not hand sanitizers, but wipes and towels, but they would sell those little mints that were at the end. You put a nickel in, or they had a wicker basket. No one ever touched those mints. Nobody wants to eat food in the shitter.
No, because they're gross.
Daniel, you are donated $10. Thank you, Daniel. Folks,
Thank
this
you,
is it.
Daniel.
We're out of here in just a couple. And I would like to see. I want to make a bet. You want to bet me something? I bet that you and I could take our salaries, whatever money we make, combine them, and you could take every tampon machine in every men's bathroom, and I guarantee you, we could take 2% of our salary and we would cover every single dollar that those things have ever made. You want to bet me?
Oh no, that's fact. That's a
Like,
fact.
We look it
I'll
up
tell you,
for $7.26. You would have to cover. Charity Lamb, $10. Thank you, Charity. God, we're nickel and diming it tonight. I'd rather have that than not hit it. So thank God.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
absolutely.
Well, $22 away.
I will tell you what the issue is. Once this whole idea of transgender ideology became a thing, they had attached the idea of products and gender rather than personalities and gender, because it's far easier to associate the product of surgery, of tampons, of makeup, of ladies' clothes. It's far easier to do that than it is to discuss people's personality differences. Mr. Hollandaise donated $67, says, you keep throwing it down and I'll keep picking it up, sir. Thank you.
Dude, Maddie, I'm going to step my foot on the pedal, like the stop button on the wheel next time. I tell you what, dude, because you come in and do these save the days. Chuck comes in and does the save the days. Mel comes in and does every night. Somebody comes in and saves the day. And I'll tell you what, I gotta step on the wheel for a couple of people. Oh God, look at these people. Anonymous, donate $100. You guys do this shit all the time. Tapped out for a bit, but we can never let Leeroy leaving short. I love you all. Please. Thank you. Good. We're good. God, you guys, every night. It doesn't matter. You guys always come through. I love you for it. Leeroy, let's end on that note. It's a good note. It's a great note. Leeroy's getting his camera. It's been a long time. He's using his phone right now, and he needs to have his phone so he can look up Mello 7259. My God.
Oh,
people.
Mel. Thank you.
We need to have that concert. I tell you what. I want to tell you guys, listen, I'm just going to cut it. Leeroy's getting his camera, so we're going to do that so he can have his phone back. So we all look beautiful and happy, and that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that to take place. Amy will be back on Monday. Remember, Thursday, we've got special guests in the house, and we have guests all week, all month long. Thank you. Leeroy, your final word, and then we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for tonight.
What a great show. We had covered so much. From the beginning of the show, we covered Trump signing of a guitar that had people absolutely outraged. We covered Alan Rickson. Rickson? Who cares?
Who cares? Big guy.
Big
and
dude.
you're not using steroids. Okay, guy. Okay, my guy.
Maze Hirano talked about her voting
Hiroshima.
thing. We talked about so much, and it was such a great show. Thank you to everyone who donated. You people are amazing. Chuck Peterson, I'm not going to forget you. I am never going to screw that up again. I apologize for that. Mr. Hollandaise, Mel, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Chuck Pendleton, I love you, buddy. Mr. Pendergrass, you're the man.
And thank you for everyone who is watching. We hope to continue to do this, and I sincerely hope that you continue to like what we do.
Yeah. We are going to see you guys tomorrow night. It'll be Olivia and I. We can't wait to have you. Thank you guys for everything you do. See you then. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Good night. Leeroy, you're the bomb. Thanks, buddy.
Love you guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for everything. God bless.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.